Hi everyone, trigger warning.
Warning.
Trigger warning, she says. No. These cards are gonna really kick you in the ass. So, yeah, I do cuss a little in front of my daughter, and I have my own opinions on it. If you don't like it, I don't really care. Sorry. That's kind of just how I am sometimes. I'm very loving, but I'm also very, tell you what's up. Yeah, so if you don't want to kick in the ass, don't listen. And don't get mad at me for the messages, because I was already in the middle of pile 1, and it's heavy, so... Pile 1 is the red aura quartz. Pile 2 is the blue aura quartz. And pile 3 is the green aura quartz. I had to stop because Carmen, my daughter, she kicked the computer shut, and then she, dumped one of the piles on the floor. Naughty. Okay. So anyway, pile 1, red aura quartz. I basically was already getting into this. Your archetypes that are prominent in your life right now are the shadow aspect of the beggar, shadow aspect of the mother, the shadow aspect of the addict. Yeah, okay. Okay. And then the light attribute of the bully. So let's start with this before, because I already told you it's going to be heavy. So, highlights your tendency to intimidate others. Helps you confront inner fears that bully you. So keep in mind that, when you find yourself kind of puffing your chest out and intimidating others, that it's your defense mechanism. But it's good to be aware of it. Also, sometimes, if you're just proud of yourself and you're in, a really high vibration and that intimidates others, that's not really something that you need to worry about. But, there's a difference. So that's a message for some of you. I also really like this in terms of the overall reading. It helps you confront the inner fears that bully you, because we are talking about the shadow aspect of the mother in this pile. And this is the prominent energy. All of these cards go with it. So either you or your mother, I'm getting the sense for 90% of you, this is your mother, or who raised you as your mother. Who is a prominent female influence, or just played that role even if they were male. They're nurturing one. So we're talking about the shadow attributes. Smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. So some mothers, they have this tendency to kind of put you down, so you feel small so you don't leave. And I feel for this, it's you need to get to know those voices that are in your head, those inner fears that bully you. What voices are your mother's and which ones are yours? Because I think you'll start to find that it's actually your mom. It's not you being hard on you. Wow. Beggar. Shadow attribute, dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. One message here. There's someone that you're interested in talking to or having some type of relationship with, and you're in touch with their energy field, or you're watching them on social media or in real life, or finding out about them through mutual friends. But you're not making an effort on your end. I feel the overall message for all of you is this person is good for you. I'm definitely hearing that. This is good for you. I'm hearing this is good for you. This is good for you over and over again. So, don't be afraid to approach it just because it's something you're not used to. I mean, obviously, the mother that you're used to was severely unhealthy. So, it's definitely good to go outside of your comfort zone in that sense. Sometimes our comfort zone, we've been used to abusive behavior. I mean, there's really no other word for it. I know it's a heavy word, but yeah. So Oh, also there was another one. There was another message I remember. Shadow attribute of the beggar. Dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. I feel like your mother was very dependent on you, but it wasn't like an equal give and take. And really, actually, the mother is supposed to give more until the child is like ready to stand on their own 2 feet. So it was like very unbalanced in a lot of ways. For some of you, I think a very small amount of you, I'm sorry, but you're the mother and this is a wake-up call for you. Then we also have the addict, shadow attributes of the addict. Compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. So this is kind of what I was saying, like you get so used to that comfort zone. It's like you're like addicted to this negative behavior just because it's what you're used to. So it's like there's a really deep need to get in touch with like who you really are. And isolate yourself from your mother for a while. Or have a tough conversation with them and just kind of set some boundaries. Yeah, because this is really heavy. I mean, if you're the mom and you've been doing these things, I hope this is a good wake-up call so you can at least be aware of what you're doing. That's always the first step to changing any habit. And no one's perfect, okay? This isn't personal judgment. This is just like the message coming through. Trust me, I've got some major wake-up calls from these cards just in the past few days since I've gotten them. So I think that's it. Okay. 2. The blue aura quartz. Oops. Where's the red one? You got a lot of them. So oh, okay. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay. And they're all shadow, right? Yeah, okay. Well, damn, these are some heavy messages. Okay, I'm not surprised based on the current astrology, and I warned you, so. And also I'm referring to pile 1, but now we're on to a whole different type of heavy message here. Okay, so the main archetype for you, pile 1 was the mother. For you, pile 2, it's the wounded child, shadow attribute. Blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds. Resists moving on through forgiveness. Now I want to also read you the light attribute. Awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children. Opens the learning path to forgiveness. So once the shadow aspect is addressed, then you can become the light attribute. You can light the way for other wounded children. But this is your current lesson, okay? I feel a lot of anger. You've got this avenger attitude, but it's the shadow attribute. It's resorting to violence in the name of a cause. So I'm getting more of like anger, yelling, harsh words. So you haven't reached the forgiveness point yet. I understand the need to get it out. I just think that there are all sorts of different ways you can get it out. Like playlists, writing and burning it, angry music, dancing, I don't know. Having angry sex with someone you trust. I'm just throwing out some ideas. Okay, mentor, shadow attributes. Inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master. So because you have a wounded inner child, you don't want your students to leave because you think of them as your children. And this is how you are still living in your wound. But the thing is, healthy parents do have their children become independent eventually when they're ready. So trickster, you've got the shadow attributes, manipulating others through duplicity. So you have a lot of different, like you shapeshift, but like in a negative way for self-gain. So people like can't, I'm hearing, so they can't figure you out. Which helps you also maintain the role of master or teacher or guru or what have you. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Shadow attributes of the liberator. Imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate. Ignoring legitimate constraints. So you may think that you're liberating people, freeing them in whatever way you are. I'm getting a lot of different scenarios here. But as the card says, it's more like freeing them from something else and then like keeping them caged under you, which, like I said, stems from your wounded inner child. I understand. I think pretty much all of us have to deal with our wounded inner child, and I understand the anger part. But, you know, I already gave you, like, my ideas for dealing with anger in a healthy way. I hope that, like, although these messages are heavy, like, I feel like the wake-up call is really good, because once you're aware that you're doing something, that's, like, the first step to changing it. I can sense you're really powerful. People do want to follow you. Once you can accept, I don't want to say responsibility, because I feel like you were, like, really harshly hurt as a child, okay? But if you can accept that these people don't know any better, aren't capable of doing any better, but you are. If you can look at this and see, what did I learn from this? How did it make me stronger? Like, once you can come to those conclusions, you can let it go. And it is a process. I'm not saying, like, it happens overnight. But yeah, you can move on through forgiveness. And then you can be a true liberator, a true mentor, a true avenger. You can lead wounded children through your story of how you healed yourself. Okay. I was not expecting these messages to be so heavy. All right, pile 3. Let's see what yours is. The first 2 were pretty heavy. The green aura quartz. Okay. I'm gonna read them first. Okay. It's a lot lighter. It's great. I mean, I'm happy to deliver any messages that come through, but I just don't like pissing people off. Unless I have to. So, basically, like, you're a very giving person. You have the light attribute of the angel. Helping those in need with no expectation of return. You see things very logically, and you can help people, like, from that perspective. You have the light attributes of the engineer. Ability to give creative energy a practical expression. Talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. And you also have this artistic side of you. Storyteller. So you can experience and express life through stories and symbols. So I feel like a really good balance of, like, creative and logical, intuitive and logical, like feminine and masculine energy within you, which gives you that angel quality. Also, I feel like this is something new for you to acknowledge, maybe. The light attribute of the destroyer. Releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. Like, thinking of that as like a God quality. A good thing. This is something you possess. Like, you can help bring down the structures that need to be brought down, that are unhealthy, that are not helping people in society. And I feel like you're also going through like a really big transformation in your life, which, you know, so you're preparing for a new life. You kind of had to destroy what was to create something new. And then you have the Midas Miser, the light attribute. Entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold, delight in sharing life's riches. So I feel like you've been through a hard time recently, and you've used your light attribute of the storyteller to create like art out of it, or to like help inspire others, because you just give to others without even like expecting anything or thinking about it. It's just like how you are. And you tell it in a way that's like very easily understood, because you also have that really logical side of you. Wow, that's amazing. And I feel like this is maybe something like new for you. I don't know why I feel like this is something new for you. This is, tell me in the comments. Like it's I'm feeling like a new power, like you just tapped the surface is what I'm feeling. Okay, and you have such good intentions. One thing that you do need to be aware of is the shadow attribute of the mystic came out. So delusional rapport with the divine. I'm not saying you're delusional. I'm saying that maybe like some of the things you're feeling, hearing, and seeing, like maybe actually are just like a lamp, or maybe like sometimes it's like evil spirits that like try to pose as like helpful ones. So you'll be able to tell by the way they feel. Just pay more attention to how they feel. I think these new faculties are opening up for you, and so I know you're really excited, and that's super cool. Just realize that maybe some of them like are actual just like engineering in a house or something, and some of them like may seem like they're serving your highest good, but they're not, and that happens to me too. Okay. Thank you so much for being like a light reading to end on, and also like really cool person. Okay. Bye guys.